Good. Hello everyone. Good morning. This is Group 4, and today we'll be discussing about a critical case study in the cybersecurity field, the 2017 NotPetya cyber attack on Maersk, one of the largest shipping companies. This case study also highlights the vulnerabilities of even the most sophisticated global operations and far-reaching consequences of the cybersecurity attacks in our interconnected world. Can we go to the next slide, please? So the main question, why was Maersk attacked? Uh, the attack on this firm was not targeted at assault, but rather a consequence of a broader or more sinister campaign. Maersk found itself caught in between the crossfires of a politically motivated cyber attack involving the NotPetya ransomware. So this ransomware, believed to have originated from an ongoing conflict between the Ukraine and Russia, quickly spread beyond its initial targets, affecting major companies worldwide. Maersk, as a global shipping giant, became an unintended but significant casualty of this digital malware. The company's position in the global trade made it a high value target, not only because it was specifically chosen, but because of the disruption of its operation would have far reaching consequences on a global commerce. And next slide, please. And continuing on the same topic, it is crucial for us to understand that NotPetya attack was designed to spread indiscriminately, while it may have specific initial targets. Its program allowed it to propagate uncontrollably across the networks and systems. And Maersk's vulnerability stemmed into its reliance and interconnected IT spanning multiple regions. So this interconnectedness was a boon, and also the bad part of this, because its global operations provided an ideal environment for the malware to spread rapidly once it breached its defenses. The hackers behind the NotPetya aimed to cause a worldwide spread disruption, targeting not just the businesses but also the government and critical infrastructure. This goal was to create a chaos and inflict the maximum damage on a global scale. And next slide. So, in addition to this, beyond the political motivation, the attacker strategically targeted large organizations to maximize the impact of this cyber assault. And global corporations like Maersk itself, with their vast and complex logistical operations, were among the hardest hit. This attack serves as a stark reminder that in the digital age, companies can become a collateral damage in the large geopolitical conflicts, and highlights the need of robust cybersecurity measures regardless the company's business sector. And I'll be passing it on to Satvika, my peer, to continue it. Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Satvika. I would start with a small introduction. One of the world's largest shipping companies, Maersk, suddenly finds all its systems down. Ports across the globe stop processing cargo, and billions of dollars in trade grind to a halt. In June 2017, the non-Pentia malware infiltrated Maersk's systems, causing one of the biggest cyber disruptions ever seen. Why the attack was successful? So how did this attack succeed? Unpatched vulnerability, which is eternal blue. The malware took an advantage of a known Windows vulnerability called eternal blue, which has been discovered months earlier. Maersk hadn't applied the patch to all of its systems, leaving a door wide open for non-Pentia to get in. This flaw spread the malware rapidly, infecting systems across their global network. Lack of network segmentation. Once inside, the malware was able to move freely because Maersk's network wasn't properly segmented. Critical systems were not isolated from less important ones, allowing the malware to spread from one part of the company to another without barriers. So the third party software, which is MeDoc, The entry point wasn't directly within Maersk. The malware entered through compromised software Medoc used for accounting in Ukraine. This shows the danger of third-party software vulnerabilities, which can be a backdoor for attackers. Another factor why was it successful was the inadequate backup systems. Mac's backup strategy wasn't robust enough to withstand the attack. Most of their backups were wiped out, except one is in Ghana, which was saved by pure luck. A power outrage prevented the malware from reaching their backup. Misclassified as a ransomware. At first, the malware was mistaken for ransomware, where attackers demand money to decrypt your data. But NotPetya wasn't interested in ransom. It was a viper designed to destroy data permanently. This confusion delayed Maersk's response. Moving on to the next question, Maersk's response to the attack. Despite the scale of the damage, Maersk responded swiftly and effectively, shutting down systems. As soon as the attack was detected, Maersk's IT teams acted fast. They shut down infected systems to prevent further spread of the malware. But by then, the damage has already affected over 45,000 PCs and 4,000 servers worldwide. Collaboration with experts. Realizing the complexity of the attack, Max brought in Microsoft and other cybersecurity experts. Microsoft's engineers helped Max analyze the malware, clean infected systems, and guide the recovery processes. Rebuilding in 10 days. One of the most impressive parts of Mark's response was how quickly they rebuilt their systems. In just 10 days, they restored thousands of servers and pieces. This massive effort required round the clock work by their global IT team supported by external experts. The Ghana backup miracle. The only thing that made this recovery possible was a backup from Ghana. This backup spared by a power outage allowed Make to restore its core systems. Without this single backup, the recovery wouldn't have taken much longer and been far more costly. So while the IT teams were rebuilding system, makes employees have to revert to manual process to keep operations going. Using pen and paper, they managed to continue shipping operations in ports, maintaining a level of service despite the chaos. Communication and coordination. Mark's transparency and communication were key elements of their response. Customer transparency. Throughout the crisis, Mark was clear and honest to the customers. They regularly updated clients about the disruptions and provided estimates for when would be restored. This open communication helped maintain trust even in the face of delays. Industry information sharing. The MAC didn't just focus on their own recovery, they actively shared information about the attack while others in the shipping industry to help them avoid similar problems. This cooperation sets a positive example of how companies can work together in the face of cyber threats. And operation impact. The attack didn't just cause operational chaos, it also hit the max bottom line hard. Estimated loss. The total cost of the attack was estimated 300 billion. So this figure includes lost businesses, the cost of rebuilding systems, and disruption of operations. Rethinking risk management. After the attack, Mac had to rethink their approach to cybersecurity, insurance, and risk management. They realized that their previous strategies weren't sufficient for dealing with such a large scale cyber attack. Post attack improvements. Mark didn't just recover from the attack, they came back stronger. They strengthened the cyber security. They improved patch management to ensure vulnerabilities were addressed immediately and strengthened system monitoring to detect threats early. They improved network segmentation. They also restructured their network, creating barriers between critical and non critical systems. This way, if a future attack happens, it wouldn't spread as easily. Cybersecurity has a priority. So the biggest change was cultural. Cybersecurity became a top priority at this biggest company, Mac, with more attention to access control, system updates, and disaster recovery planning. Leadership played an important role in Mac's recovery. Transparency from leadership, CEO Sorensku, and the leadership team communicated openly about the attack and its impact. This transparency not only helped maintain customer confidence but also positioned Mac as a company willing to learn from their mistakes. I'm handing over to our groupmate Vishwa. Thank you.
Yeah, let's discuss about the prevention strategies that could have been adopted. Like it involves network segmentation, which is basically putting filters on the flow of critical information. And other preventive measures includes training employees for the possible attacks and maintaining your system up to date, like keeping the patches on point. And these kind of prevention strategies in our case could have not completely shielded the attack, but could have allowed us to manage the situation. Moving on to the next slide. Yes. So the in case of response strategies, it comes we basically need a proper crisis management team, which involves incident response and perfect backup. In our case, the response was quick and it was good, but it turned out to be costly due to the lack of preparation of the company. In this situation, we had a problem of having a Microsoft server as as backup systems, um, which is basically like when everything goes down, we don't have a solution unless like we have a operating system somewhere back in Africa or something. So moving on to the next slide. So uh, let's focus on both prevention and response strategies for cyber attacks. Preventive strategy basically gives us a solution for less risk, and response strategy gives us a solution for less damage. Uh, a company being on point for both prevention and response strategies could be effective one, um, not being so much vulnerable to attack, and when getting attacked, not inflicting so much damage upon the company. So in our case, the attack happened on June 22nd, 2017, and the system was brought online in a month, July 26, 2017, which is basically good. The response was good. 1 month being a long time, but the response was good. But Maze could have handled better on the prevention part. So that's what we would say. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. We can discuss some about the proactive cybersecurity strategies that could have been implemented. It basically involves identifying the vulnerable points, and like the points uh, that are open for attack or something, and a regular audit on the IT systems, a proper endpoint security system, and continuous vulnerable assessment of the system, and staying it's the same as before, staying up to date with my security patches and stuff. Yeah, moving on to the next solution. Yeah, so this applies to any IT companies that are under attack. A proper backup system, a proper network, with control flow of information and threat detection tools, um, which allow us to foresee the threats that could affect the organization. Okay, moving on to next slide. Yeah, the thing is, the organization needs to be future ready for whatever vulnerable for whatever attacks that could impact the organizations, which involves a good investment on the IT systems and um, running like assessments, something like hiring white collar hackers to hack their own system and stuff. These are like some of the there could be 100 steps like for our organization to be future ready in case of cyber attacks. These are few. Yeah. Now I'm handing over to David for the proper for next explanation. Thank you.
Alrighty, so is this case real or fictional? It's real. The non-PETA attack was real. It's one of the most sophisticated attacks to date. It has caused billions of dollars of damages across many organizations across the world. Firsthand, I was a network analyst at a company prior to my time at UMass Boston, and I was responsible for patching these systems because of this. When this came out, when this vulnerability came out and the patch for it, we assembled a team and we basically patched all of our Windows servers, Windows desktops, laptops, to prevent this type of attack. Thankfully, we had a robust information security plan. You could argue that the information security plan that Maersk was not mature based upon some of the talking points that my colleagues raised, from lack of proper backup strategies. Though there was one, the Active Directory environment was not backed up, because according to the case, 150 domain controllers, if one went down, then it could be rebuilt. But if 150 go down, then what? Vulnerability management. Though there was a patch that could have fixed this vulnerability, it was not applied. As the case states, employee bonuses were directly correlated to system uptime. So patching requires downtime, a maintenance window, which impacts somebody's paycheck. So that lack of best practices really provided risk or introduced risk to the business. I'm just going to jump to the next slide. So again, because of this lack of information security, it cost them $300 million. Personally, I believe that number's low. And I say it's low because as you'll see, there's a very large number of hardware assets that had to be replaced. This company's recovery became a topic of business continuity, disaster recovery, and it kind of served as a model of where the weak links are, as discussed, the proactive managing, keeping systems up to date, introducing vulnerability management tools, training employees, having buy-in from the business owners, integrating an information security program into day-to-day business operations to minimize risk are our main points here. And again, on the reactive side, the reactive side could have been more metered if there was a more robust prevention. I believe things like network segmentation, vulnerability management, third-party vetting or third-party software vetting would have greatly reduced the need to basically rebuild the entire network of Maersk. And one important thing, the speed at which the NotPetya ransomware spread just goes to show, if left unchecked, any sophisticated piece of malware can quickly destroy a company. I believe the article, the case study states that a Ukrainian bank was wiped out in 45 seconds, I believe. So just goes to show how quickly these things can spread. Next slide. All right, so just an overview, and I do apologize for the slide. It's overview of numerical insights. So some of the numbers. So 10 days it took to replace 4,000 servers, 45,000 computers, and 25 applications. That number is not, those numbers are not complete. That's to get the mission critical business up, because as I said, they were down for a month, 10 days to get some of their stuff back. The company operates worldwide, 76 ports all over the world. $300 million, as discussed. That's the cost of the cleanup. However, as I said, I think that number's low. 3.9%, that's the increased surcharge for shipping, and 20% of shipping dropped. And that's because some of the manufacturers opted for other more expensive shipping options like air and train. And next slide. In conclusion, so this shows that it is very important to have a multi-layer cybersecurity approach that is aligned with the business. This is done via using business-based metrics, a robust information security plan, and properly explaining it in terms of risk. What is the risk of a widespread vulnerability attack on your operations? And part of the information security plan involves proactive response, like threat detection, patching, employee training, and in the event of a response, the incident response plan that has to be tested quarterly. And then by learning some of these attacks, or by learning about this attack, this attack was very sophisticated. Companies can enhance their response, the response to an attack, in response to prevent the attack. One last thing. I am the Senior Information Security Architect at UMass. The month of October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. The shameless plug for our department is that link right there. We have tabling in Campus Center. The dates are on that link. You can win a hat as shown. So please stop by and talk to us about all things cybersecurity. Thank you on behalf of myself and my Group 4 teammates. Thank you for watching the slide presentation.